Yeah, so I'm getting that set up right now. Flinch in the building. Guys, if you have an Oculus, we're going to be in Alt Space. Just go to the Alt Space app on your Oculus. You should see the event if you guys have an Oculus. What's going on, guys? For everybody just getting into the room, we are going to be also broadcasting from Alt Space within the Oculus VR app. So if you guys have an Oculus Quest or just the Oculus, go to the Alt Space app and you will see the Starseed Film and Music Virtual Film Festival. Looks like we got a pretty good turnout today. Everybody's hopping in. I appreciate everybody. We'll get started here momentarily. All right. We are live in VR.
So I don't have VR glasses, believe it or not. I'm actually a developer for one. Like I play a VR expert. So I put on my first glasses in 2015. So I got pretty obsessed with it, but I didn't get Oculus. Every time I try to go get Oculus, I forget and I get involved in something else, and it always sold out. So my girlfriend got two of them, so she's going to give me one. I have some people pen testing it just to see what kind of information it runs while you're not using it, and what kind of information is run when you're using it. So yeah, I'm planning to get one, but yeah, this is exciting. I shoot in VR. I mean, I love shooting stuff in VR, so it's really just a 360 view.
It's so amazing. And I already got our stuff set up. There's a app called Villa, and basically it's like the worlds, they're photorealistic, and you can have like networking events. So like I got a villa, I got this little apartment place that's already set up for us. And you can pull up NFTs and show people. It's amazing. And then there's another place called Infiniverse. It's kind of like Decentraland, but way better. You can buy actual up like property. And like for companies, say I'm working on buying a whole entire skyscraper for Starseed Film and Music, and that's where we'll do our business out of, and we'll could have apartments and sell other apartments to people as well out of our skyscraper. So that's what I'm working on.
I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I've been working on because I have that church, the church that I'm part of. That's 2.5 acres of land. There's nothing there except a few trees, so it's perfect for a big gathering. But I like to do a hybrid one. So So I've been talking to builders, and they want a lot of money. But I have the
Oh,
specs. I have all the pictures. I have everything. We all had everything shot in drone. So we have everything, and I have all the measurements. I have everything. So, yeah. So like, I think it's everybody you can build all kind of platform for everything you want to do. I mean, it's your playground. It's all how creative and how you're able to build a story around it. But how are you, Geno? How's it going?
I am great, Tonya. I have no complaints at all. I'm excited for today. I'm excited for today's film festival. These guys are so talented, man. Flinch in the building.
Hello.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Good. How are
Appreciate
you?
appreciate you for stopping by, checking us out. I don't know if you have an Oculus or a headset, but if you want to check us out in VR, you definitely could.
I wish. I ordered mine. I tried it. I tried an Oculus headset for the first time like a week ago, and it blew my mind. I loved it, and I ordered one, but
Absolutely
I don't have it
amazing.
yet.
It's absolutely amazing.
What are what are some of the films showing in your festival?
Well, we're, this is our fourth episode. Um, so it was you guys last week. It was Elena. Uh, the week before that, uh, what, what was that guy's? I have such a bad memory. Got to look at the. Have to look at our list. But it's been a few of them, and they're all NFT films, all dope. Like, let me see here. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host. Well, look for that,
Hey, you know
Tonya.
what I should do? I should tweet out all the episodes, and since I already live streamed it on YouTube, so we have them all. I can just tweet it out right now. Actually, hi everybody, how's it going? Hi, how you doing, Flinch?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I've been involved in, and I'm not an artist or a builder or anything. I'm a communication specialist, so I'm a publicist. So I spent all last year researching NFT. Since February of last year, was part of the early adapter to Twitter Spaces, and sat in. There was really nobody here except So you got to be like. There's only like a couple spaces that were about NFT at that time. So I started sitting to that, and I'm into NFT music. I'm into NFT artists, women empowerment. So I do all that stuff. When I met Geno, actually in my NFT music radio, when I was part of a project, and he started telling me how he wanted to do a film festival and host one in spaces, and I was like, oh, you know what? In real life, in IRL, I actually sponsor a film festival, like for Lido Film Festival. It's called Fliff. So I did the 2015 one. So I said, yeah, I don't see why we can't do it. But at the time, we didn't do it right away actually because I had the NFT music radio. But when I made time, I said, well, we can do it Wednesday. So really, the whole concept and idea of this project is to really introduce the filmmakers, talk about their process, talk about the NFT, their token, their DAO, what their roadmap really, where are they going with their project. I've just been doing this for, like I told you, since a year from now, like a year. And I just love hearing about the process because, when I live stream this, I just don't live stream it to YouTube. It goes to Facebook group, Twitch. It's on my other Twitter account, but I also blog, so I cut up snippets. So that in return will get you like 20 or 30 links. So this is what we do here. We promote you. So the film festival in itself, we'd like to be able to one day coordinate, either do it in a VR, we can do it in an AR if we wanted to, but to coordinate maybe an actual watch party. This is more of a conversation with the filmmaker, because when you go to a film festival, when I sponsored one thing I noticed, like, that we watched the film together and then we got the chance to meet the filmmaker, like the people who are part of the film. They each talked, and it was so cool to be the audience because you get to experience something that most people don't get a chance to be able to hear the process of making this film. So that's why you're here today. So welcome.
That's cool.
We're actually we're trying to work with Beam so we can do something like that where we're able to watch the movie, together, probably the day before, and then talk about it on that Wednesday. Yeah, so I think Beam is the future, because it's kind of like Netflix. It's a movie app, but then it also gives you the option to host watch parties with I forget how many people. I think the maximum capacity is like maybe 1 million something or something like that. But it's a crazy number. But I really think they're the future of movie watching here in Web3.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so
I'm going
so do
to
I.
add more to that, though. I really feel the future is going to be when filmmakers like yourself will be able to host your own private viewing off of your own website where people would sign up with either get a token where that gives them private showing. And instead of them going anywhere else, they go to your website. It could be your website could be in Web3 if they wanted to, because you can
Yeah,
have like a .eth at the end of it. But the whole idea is to have that community together, watching something together, experiencing something together, and then talking about it. Because in return, that will help you. That gives you so much more content. Plus, you're able to share and collaborate and connect with your audience like no other filmmaker can do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
was with them. I was with the people of Beam last night, IRL.
oh yeah.
It was really nice spending some time with them. Them and the Blockbuster DAO folks and the Next Hollywood DAO. We all got together here in Los Angeles. And we're talking about all these things, all these things that we're working on within the Web3 film space.
Wow. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for where all of this is going.
So before we start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to here and to the NFT space?
Yeah, I mean, I know a number of the people in this space right now.
Oh,
Julian, I see Deckard, I see Christian, Petra, and then Amber as well. Um, I don't think I've met Film Freako, or maybe I have,
oh man.
and then the PFP is different. So, I mean, they all know me, but yeah, I'm Cameron, and I am a filmmaker and a Web3 enthusiast, and, just making movies on the blockchain, baby.
That should be a song in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, but our project's Flinch, and it's a film franchise that's owned by the community. Part one is complete, and the rest is up to us as a team to build out. Actually, one cool thing that I'd love to talk about, and by the way, if anyone in our group wants to come up and chat, by all means. But since I know everyone here, I think maybe it would be cool to actually talk about some new concept that I'm working on for the project. I'd love everyone's thoughts on it. Who's in this space? Maybe that'd be a cool thing to do. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. So, we've talked about the character PFPs and we've talked about the poster NFTs, right? Um, and I think so. One of the things we were thinking is like, obviously, I've been talking a lot lately about the character PFPs being gamified to some extent, where you have serums that you can burn, and not even serums, like the equivalent of a serum, we call it a burner phone, that have various jobs that you would take as like a criminal, right? Like, smuggle this across the border, or take care of this person, or go here and meet this person and do this job, or whatever it is, and if you want to take the job, you got to burn the phone. That'll advance your character. And I think there's a lot of fun to be had there. I think there's a lot of lore that can be created there that could then find itself into the films. Um, and just a lot of cool things, abilities to advance the rarity of your characters, which might give you more power or more accessibility to getting that character into a game or a spin-off or something along those lines, right? The sky's kind of the limit here. And we're going to learn and figure it out. But with the poster PFPs, something came up last night, actually, at the group event I was at, where we were talking about what if there was a way to do like a Rev-share model for screenings of the films based off of the posters. So by holding a poster, you have the legal right, kind of like the way that now with, as an example, the Board Ape Yacht Club, if you have a character, you own that character. You have the right to exploit that character in merch and things like that. Well, what if you, with the posters for films, had the right to show a movie, right? Because technically, like legally, according to the laws in America, if 20 people or more gather to watch a movie, you technically have to get the rights in order to exhibit it, even if it's a sleepover at your house and 20 kids are there. Like no one's coming after you for that. But the legal rule is 20 people or more. And you think about all of the screenings that happen, right? Like drive-in theater screenings, secondary theater screenings, and then of course like very traditional theatrical stuff. Like imagine if, in order to exhibit a film um, theatrically in any setting, you had to hold one of these poster NFTs.
Mm.
And 50% of it goes to the holder of the poster NFT, and then 50% goes back to the project, which would be the traditional 50-50 split for theatrical anyways, right? So then imagine if we airdrop the posters to anyone holding a character, right? So essentially we're giving our community the right to exploit the film theatrically around the country, around the world, wherever they want to exploit it, right? So let's say part two comes out and everyone gets the poster for part two. Well, it's our community. And of course, I'm just kind of thinking this through, right? It's like, okay, you have 10,000 of these sitting there. Let's think about this from a domestic standpoint. Um, would the holders say, okay, well, my local theater, I'm going to approach them and see if they want to do a screening, right? And maybe they'll split their end with their local theater, or maybe they'll just sell it to theaters. Maybe this is like a kind of thing where the theaters will just go, okay, cool, like there's some buzz here. We want to buy this. Maybe it's a local theater that says how much to purchase this. They buy it, and let's say it does well, right? Let's say it does well. And then the next town over goes, oh, we want to have one of these. We want to do one of these screenings. Um, so then suddenly you're creating like this secondary market for these they're not PFPs, these poster NFTs um, that can grow. I don't know. I'm like kind of thinking this out loud, but last night I was like really into this idea. I was like, this is an interesting thing, because originally what I was thinking of giving to the community in the way of like the screenings is building our own pods, right? Building our own theatrical pods that we airdrop to everyone. Kind of like there's like home pods now that you can display your NFTs in. But imagine if we made like a theater pod, and if you, as a holder of one of these theater pods, were to host screenings in it, 50% of the income, should you charge, goes to the person who owns the pod, right? So you could also do that in the real world. I don't know. I'd love everyone's thoughts on this.
I think it's an amazing idea. Yeah, I think that's amazing. And I had no idea you had to get the rights to actually show a film if it's 20 or more. That's good to know. Shout out to Film Freako. He just popped in the room on the Oculus. He's also in the Twitter space.
Is Petra? Are you raising your hand?
Oh, I was waving to Film Freako, but yeah, I did just pop in. Say, I did have, this is a really interesting idea. Maybe some people are having right now, and we've been thinking about sort of the issue of bringing, typical industry, let's say, including especially the unions, getting them involved with these flows. And I think this is critical. Like, so in the idea that you were describing, you've generated basically a distribution rights token out of the movie posters, which then has like a defined split related to exploitation of the media, as we say in the industry. And so there's in the industry so many problems, mostly around audit of the concept of gross revenue from distribution sales, right? And so I'm just curious, like, have you guys thought through in terms of like how do you establish um, the payments that are due like in terms of a 50-50 split, if you're selling to like, just a local theater, as you posited, like a brick and mortar operation, they're savvy enough to have picked up on purchasing a distribution rights token. But how do they remit from their local sales? And I think personally here, there's this opportunity in the decentralized space that if we could somehow construct a framework that could track global gross revenue from exploitation of media product, um, in a way that would allow everybody to see sort of like in real time, in an audited way, in a secure way, in a trustless way, where all these flows were going. I don't know. I'm curious how far you guys have got in that project, because over at GW Studios, we've been thinking about it a lot. And I think we've got something we're trying to put together, but it doesn't work like as a product, if you understand. It's more like a convention, a way of interoperating between these venues and producers and creators alike.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's still a world out there where people use fiat and banks, right? And we're gonna definitely have to play in that world as we move into this space. Like, I don't think we're gonna immediately jump into a world where every theater and everyone is just on the blockchain and transacting, and the crypto's flowing where it needs to go. I think we'll get there over time, but I've been very clear in talking about this project that, like, certainly a goal of ours would be to have, say, like a Netflix or one of these major streamers take our full franchise once it's complete and drop it on their platform. I think that would be a moment, not only for our franchise, but for Web3 cinema in general, right? And very likely that whatever value or whatever licensing fee will be paid in fiat, and then just converted and distributed accordingly. And I think that's okay, right? In addition to us doing Web3 exploitation, like via Beam, where that can all be crypto and it can flow accordingly, or the decentralized cinema that we built. We built our own cinema on the Polygon network. As far as the theatrical thing goes, I don't know. Like I said, this is a kind of a new concept that came up last night that I really liked. The idea of giving these posters distribution rights for theatrical exploitation, one cinema at a time. America probably has 2,500 really good screens, 4,500 in total within each of those. If a movie's like a true hit, you might get up to 3 screens per theater. That's about a 10,000. That's about 10,000 poster NFTs right there. So you can kind of handle all of the United States with these posters, and you're giving the community who owns these posters that value. Now, how are they going to deal with the accounting? I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. How do they even deal with the exploitation of the film? Do we have to build our own server that hosts the movie in 4K, that once the holder of the token, like, connects their wallet in some way, like access is given for that to screen at one time off of one projector? These things will have to be sorted. I've certainly dealt with theaters before on other films, both like large scale and then mom and pop theaters. And most of them are very transparent and actually very nice to deal with. Way cooler than like middlemen distributors from Hollywood, especially like your drive-ins and things like that. In fact, with Flinch, we did do we did 100 drive-ins across the U.S. when we first launched this out and made the film available, with just mom and pop drive-ins. And it was amazing, and there was real revenue there. And they were all so transparent. And then with my previous film Tragedy Girls, we did about a 500 screen run, and like there's like a whole system in place that you can kind of get in, the dollars flow and you can see them. But I don't know, maybe there's a cool way to figure out how to, I mean, already by like, if you do kind of do this, like, have the NFT, you can have the film show in your theater. You're already making smaller and local theaters futuristic, or you're already bringing them into Web3 to some degree. So maybe there's like a further way to do it, to where people are scanning something and paying via fiat or crypto in order to watch within these chains, and maybe these theaters would jump at that opportunity, or maybe they'd want to use their old systems. It's to be figured out, you know. But I guess that's the fun of what we're doing, right? Your hands up.
Yeah, and I have to apologize because I had another thing in about 6 minutes and I have to step out. But I did want to ask you one other question because I'm really excited about your project and what you're doing in terms of like a cinematic universe. And I think that's like really one of the key uh, differentiators between the Web3 space and in cinema and the Web2 space, and that's where things are going. But here's my curiosity, my pondering. Like, if there was one other film franchise in the metaverse that you would do a crossover with, how would that work, and which one would it be?
That's a cool question. I mean, I guess here's my analytical brain. I guess I have to ask you, like, does it have to be a Web3 franchise that's currently out there, or could it be like any franchise that might utilize Web3?
I mean, shoot for the moon. We'll onboard them. What?
Okay. All right. Let me, you know, I mean, I don't know why the degen tunes come to mind, just because there's some like criminal aspect to what they're doing, you know, or even the Cryptoon goons. You know, those are like they're like scrappers and brawlers. You know, when you look at their PFPs, they're like, I mean, even the Feline Fiends has that a little bit, but yeah, like the degen tunes and the Cryptoon goons. There's something criminal and tough about it, and it's just like I feel like that could mesh with what we're doing with the Flinch franchise, as we're a crime franchise. But I don't know.
That's awesome. Thank you. I do have to dip out, but this is amazing, and I look forward to following your guys' project for sure.
Hey, thanks. Nice to speak with you.
All right. Dope questions. I do have a question myself. How many are you guys going to come out with a sequel or anything to Flinch, or is this basically one and done?
No, that's the whole concept. Is a franchise. We are a film franchise owned by the community. Film One exists as a utility for the community in the way that the income from it goes back to the community, and it's also the starting point for the story, the characters, the plot, and everything to build off of. Our pilot, if you would. But this whole project is around communities owning IP and exploiting and advancing that IP together. So once we get through our mint, we immediately go into making part two. The goal is to make part 2 and 3 together, myself, and then the goal is for the community to really take it over and make it their own, and find members from the community, or you know, who can champion the next leg of the franchise, whether that's episodic, cartoons, comic books, games, and let it become, you know, its own entity. Decker, I see your hands up.
Yeah, it is, brother. It is.
What up, brother?
Good to see you today.
How you
Good to
doing,
see
man?
you today. Man, you know, it's another day with the little one. Another day. You know,
Yeah.
another day. Welcome, not welcome, but shout out. My greetings to everyone in the space. I saw Flinch in here, and he brought up something that, you know, this is something that always happens with us, man. We go through the space and being brothers from other mothers in the industry. Uh, he's heard some of my rants throughout the spaces, and you know, he brought up some things that got the goosebumps out. So I definitely wanted to chime in on some of those thoughts he had, just in terms of his different ideas, in terms of, you know, how to get this type of project out there. I really get excited when I hear certain things about, you know, trying to incentivize the holders get them a little bit more involved, because that's one of the things I speak about often. Flinch has heard me talk about this. Cameron's heard me talk about this. As a filmmaker, as a part of the process, I feel like I talk about equity a lot, and I feel like this space allows us to. And when I say us, I'm talking about fellow creators, especially as it pertains to filmmakers. Um, it gets us a little bit more involved in the process. And when he mentions some of these ideas, and he talks about how can we do that, I think about the local facilities. I've gone into these restaurants. They have the open mic nights. They have they oftentimes screen pictures on the indoor screens, and this just seemed to fall right into that area. And I don't know. I feel like somebody brought up track. How would we track it? Well, I mean, isn't that kind of the whole point here with blockchain? So if you hold a poster or a character, or if you're able to burn, maybe even having a collaboration with one of these local establishments to kind of promote the film projects, to kind of onboard people, or maybe if a holder through the IP rights or some sort of merch giveaway or something, make an event out of it where, if you are a holder and you happen to have a local establishment, um, that you can go in and, let's say, on a Friday night, Saturday night, Monday night, whatever night, and if you allow that bar or restaurant or whatever it is, if you allow them to screen the picture, and by doing that, I guess maybe tracking it that way. Um, Obviously, all of these are just ideas, but like I said, I had the goosebumps when I heard him talking about it, because I think that's the most important thing. I think that the community at large, I think the holders at large, if and I kind of always relate it to the crew, right? I always go back to the crew. If you are part of a crew on any given project, and definitely, I want to talk to you, Cameron, on the side later on another time about these thoughts. I always have you on my head. I think that's the thing, especially when we're talking about this space, Web3, especially when we're talking about the filmmaking process, or the filmmakers, or the creators, and we need to incentivize the holders. And I think that is how we do it, right? If you're on a crew, whether you are an intern, a PA, all the way up to a producer. You notice I kind of missed the executive producers, because executive producers usually are a part of the established companies, which I'm there also. Cameron is there also, but I think in the grand scheme of things, those people usually play a part with the major studios. So I'm just speaking in terms of the folks that are not tied to the major studios, who are actually fighting for jobs. Somebody mentioned the unions. A lot of these positions don't, well, not a lot, but some of these positions do not have union representation. So they're kind of X'd out of all of the talks when they're, the money talks, contract talks, strike talks. They're forgotten members anyway, even though they're vital, they play vital roles in all of this. So I just think I love the concept. I think that's what we need to kind of start to incentivize the holders. In my head, the holders are probably going to be people that are actually interested in the process. So I always, like I said, I go back to crew members. It'll give a crew member incentive to want to pump that project. If it's a lower, not a major studio project, if it's a smaller project or more independent project, it incentivizes that role on a film project, or any project. Even I did a lot of my time in music videos. I think it applies the same way. If I feel like I'm actually helping to build this brand or this artist, I can tie it into artists, but I've already started rambling. If we incentivize the holders, they'll want to go out and show these movies 100 times, So I love the concept. I think that all works. Tracking it, blockchain, burning it if you have it, or maybe even lending if you do have permission through holding. Maybe you can collab locally or allow, whether it's YouTube, I don't like YouTube, or any one of these sites or something. Just like how we have to connect our wallets for every drop nowadays. Maybe that's how we do it. If we connect our wallet and that wallet has the poster or the character, that we're able to track it that way. And maybe we're able to do Discord stream sessions because those count too, right? I personally am not ready to go to the movie theaters, but I definitely want to be a part of every, stream session. So that was my long rant, but thank you. My long ramble, I should say, but thank you. Those are my thoughts. Flinch, man, just keep it up, man. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, well, let's chat for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is, we're building, so it takes time to kind of come up with all the concepts. But yeah, when I started thinking about what if the posters give you, the physical distribution rights, 50%, like a theater holds it, like how could that build a film? What an interesting way for a film to move if you just drop those NFTs and said, okay, this is, if you want to play the film in your theater, this is it. And the community is suddenly going, well, okay, my local theater, and they're getting involved and pushing and getting their friends to go, and like, what would that look like if it was successful? But yeah, there's tons to figure out still, and just an idea, but one that I like.
Right. Awesome. Sorry, guys. We had a couple more people hop into the VR space. You have any more questions? Anybody have that? All right. Flinch, as a filmmaker, who inspired you to do this? Who inspired you to get into film? Like, what filmmakers do you look up to?
I look up to a lot of filmmakers. My favorite filmmaker personally is Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay.
I'm just a huge fan of his work and his story. He's my favorite. What's up, She Crypto?
Hey, what's good, everybody?
How are you?
Everything's everything. Glad everything's coming together for you.
Likewise, it's coming together for all of us, yeah?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, loving how the space is moving, warp speed, a lot of stuff for NFT films, so I'm loving it.
She Crypto was our first filmmaker.
For sure.
That we've interviewed within the Twitter space. She helped us jumpstart this whole thing. I am forever grateful. What's going on, Crypto?
Hey, just immersing myself in the space per usual, and I'm thinking about screening Legal Threat soon on Beam, but I just want to make sure that the quality is a little bit up to spec. So, but that's pretty much it. I'm just loving how everything is going, watching everybody show their projects, showing everybody love and support, and that's really what this whole Web3 thing is about. And just really grateful to be a part of something like this, especially at the beginning. It's amazing. It's amazing feeling. Hi, Tonya. Tonya, step out for a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to share. I'm trying to pin something up. Hey, girl, how's it going?
Good. How you feeling? Hey, Cameron, I like that. I like that NFT. Sure do.
Oh, the PFP?
Yeah,
that I have up now.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I love this one. We did a post with this one, which was like, name it, like come up with the best name. And there was a lot of great names. And my personal favorite was someone came up with the name Band Anna. And I just love it. Like, I want this character in one of the films, and I want her name to be Anna. Band Anna. Like, I just that's like that. How amazing to get that into a film And it came literally from this community kind of riffing together and coming up with a name. Like, this is the fun that we can have with storytelling. So yeah, and I just love the look of her too.
I also want to say hi to my friend Rivers. He's in the space too. Hi, Rivers. How's it going? I gave him the mic. Hopefully, he'll come up here.
So Cameron, back to the franchise aspect of your film. So you're going to do several of these, and then I think I overheard you saying one of these calls here that you're going to like, it's up to the community after a while. You're just going to kind of hand it over.
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to build up a community around it that runs with it. You know, what that looks like. I mean, maybe there's one person within the community who really shows a true passion and skill along making, say, part 2 and 3, and maybe they're involved in the writing room, or maybe they're involved like in the producing of it all, and they really get boots on the ground. They come to set and they just kind of crush it, right? So then maybe that person is kind of like voted by the community. Okay, they're gonna produce out. They're gonna be like one of the lead producers for, say, episodic, right? And then we will, we'll work with them and maybe some other producers to bring on a showrunner. Let the community decide on, a couple options for showrunners. So the agents will pitch us some showrunners, and we can even do meetings in Beam. The showrunners could literally put on their Zoom and beam into Beam, and the community can pull up. Only the community, because you have to hold one in your wallet, and sit down and listen to the pitch. Listen to each showrunner's pitch, and each showrunner says, "This is where I'd take the franchise. This is where I'd take it." And then the community can say, "Okay, we like this one the best," and we poll the community and move forward, and then bring that person on. I don't know what it looks like exactly, but yeah, the goal is to let the community really run with it. Of course, I'll always be here shepherding it, much like I think, anyone, you look at any long going franchises, there are a number of producers who were there from the beginning that shepherd it. They're not full time. They're not, making every single film, right? There's another entity built around it once it becomes something. There's cash flow around it. But yeah, that's my vision for the franchise.
I would love to be involved with that somehow as an aspiring filmmaker. That's such a dope concept, man.
I think it's how things are going to move in Web3. I think it's how the future is going to be. I think we're going to see tons of IP created by communities, overseen by communities, and I think the studios are going to have a hell of a time keeping up. Like, legitimately, there'll be that one moment when it just kind of flips, and yeah, I really firmly believe that. So that's what I'm building towards.
That's awesome, man. Like I said, I'm an aspiring filmmaker myself. I only have experience writing. I've only had experience writing my own script, one script. But yeah, Flinch, I could definitely see myself getting down with that idea. Or
yeah, like think about this, and then Julian, and I see Julian's got his hand up, but think about this, right? It's like in the old model, or whatever you want to call it. You want to make films, you want to work in film, you kind of come to LA or New York or Atlanta, right? And you work in movies, and you work your way up, and you do smaller jobs and whatever career path you're trying to build, and you get to know people, and you build your way up. You can do the same thing now with Web3, literally by getting in Discords, getting in these spaces, working together to build out the films, like all of the work that we're doing. It's no different. And then we're going to go into production, and there's going to be paths for the community to be involved in the production, right? And then we're going to be IRL, meeting up, working together, and then we'll go back to our respective homes, and then do our virtual Web3 work again, of promoting or building or decision making or script reading or whatever it is. And like I'm sure 90% or maybe 80% of the community won't want to be that involved. They just want to hold the NFT and have fun and come to the premiere, and that's cool. But like that 10, 20, whatever percentage it is of people that are really invested in building, like it's a path to to really make films that has opened up for people who haven't had those opportunities before, you know?
That just gave my whole body chills, bro. Wow.
We're
That
doing
is
it.
so dope.
We're doing it. Julian keeps coming up with great ideas for the franchise. What's up, Julian?
She actually has her hands up.
Hey,
You got a question, Julian? I want to say something.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys. Cameron actually just speaking. Can you guys hear me?
no,
Yep.
you cut out for me.
Yeah, I got a phone call right when I started talking. Anyway, Cameron, you just covered like one of the things that I think is so incredible about the opportunity here. And it's about being able to uncover and lift up voices of people that have traditionally been, outside or disenfranchised. I mean, the grind and hustle, like I'm not in LA, I haven't done that, but I certainly have friends and know about the grind and the hustle. And, you would think that it's a meritocracy and that talent would get surfaced, but like, no, it's not like that. And oftentimes the people who have the ability to work for no or little pay have some sort of privilege that other people don't, because maybe their parents are funding them or they've got some other kind of opportunity or leg up. And so I think what's so exciting and compelling about this is we're going to be able to uplift people from our community who they may not even be in this country. They may not look like any of the traditional folks that are producing content, and they may not even be docs at the end of the day. We could have somebody write a great episode of a Flinch, spin-off TV show, and it's literally their PFP and their avatar and not even their real name, because it's about getting people access and lifting up those voices. So one of the things that's so exciting for me is that it just removes the gatekeepers, and we're going to get so much more interesting content because we're going to have new voices, and we're going to kind of like evolve past the same people making the same content and holding the keys to the empire. So that's why I'm super excited.
Web3 really is revolutionizing everything.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with the Reddit crowd, right? You had to live in New York City and know hedge fund people to really have any weight in the stock market up until a few years ago, and then all of a sudden technology met at the right place and the right time, and people sitting at their computers from anywhere are able to move markets, right? This is just the beginning. NFTs are now tokenizing art. So what is this going to do to art, film, entertainment, music? It's going to be the same thing. We're going to move markets.
Absolutely. Easily, easily.
Hey, Karen, I see Karen just came in. Nice to see you, Karen.
Hey, Julian, I just wanted to say thank you for all your support and how you kind of like have put like the whole like film NFT community on your back and really uber encouraging to everyone. Just thanks for all the love and support.
She Crypto, that's awesome. Thank you. And I'm super stoked to watch Legal Threat. Let's get it done. I want to see it.
Oh, for sure. I've just been kind of going back and forth with the guys at Beam just to make sure that at least it shows the way it's supposed to. And yeah, I'm just excited for everybody to see it, and get everyone's effective feedback and just, just excited just to show my work and what I can do. So yeah, thanks. I look forward to your, opinion and everything too.
Amazing. Absolutely. I have one more question for you, Flinch. How long did it take you to get it done, to finish up filming and wrap on everything?
Takes years, from the time started writing it to shooting it, and every movie has its own hurdles. Like one of the hurdles we had was one of the actors in our film went to jail. I needed him for pickup shoots. This guy, Buddy Duress, who's a wild card, but he's great in the movie. Yeah, that's kind of the fun of independent filmmaking is just making it happen, like solving crazy problems that you never thought you would have to solve, and just getting through it. Production itself was like 28 days. Editing was like about 11 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, film. I see Film Freak has their hand up, and then someone else. Art. What's up?
Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you around here. I was in the VR space, but got a little dizzy, so I had to step out. I still have to get used to it. Cameron, congratulations, man! I've been following your project for a couple of weeks now. I have not had the opportunity to watch it. I'm gonna. I think I'll try to watch the film this weekend. Because from the looks of it, I think it's right down my alley. I mean, it's right. I'm a genre passion filmmaker, and I love everything that has to do with weird shit. And yours looks like it's gonna be something that I'm gonna like. And yeah, I just wanted to hop on and congratulate you on the film, on the project that you guys are building. Everything that you just said sounds amazing. I love the PFPs you guys have. I mean, I wanted to tell you that I appreciate that you guys are like shooting to offer different types of I don't know, opportunities or systems within the NFT ecosystem. Not just mint the film and go watch it, but there's different types of access doors that you're planning, and that's what we should be doing in this space, you know.
Yeah, I agree. NFTs on their own are a whole new art form. And we're already seeing stories build around them and lore build around them and games build around just them and themselves. So to not utilize that is a waste, in my opinion. You know, like I genuinely love NFTs. I love the space, and I love all of it that goes in. You know, like people, there's stories that build around them, and the characters and the art, and then you could mutate the character to get something else. But there's real world consequences to them, and there's value behind it. Like that's cool. That's so new. That's such a fun thing. That's like you know, Magic the Gathering or something with tokenization. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. So to not play in that sphere, in addition to film, traditional game, and all the other cool kinds of IP that we can build with this franchise, to me, is just leaving chips on the table.
And it's also like a dream for storytellers, you know, because we get to tell more of the story with different platforms, different assets, different experiences. I mean, for me, I mean, I'm planning a whole lot of stuff, and what you guys are doing is inspiring, because I see that someone else is thinking of the things that I was thinking a few months ago, and you don't feel alone, you know. So congrats, and yeah, looking forward to hopping in everything you guys make.
Thank you, brother. Always love filmmakers in this crew. We're always welcoming of filmmakers. We want this to be a place for filmmakers to work together to build this franchise and other franchise. You know, like we can hold many NFTs and make many franchises together and bring the old titans to their knees. This is where giants come to die. This is where David beats Goliath, you know. So let's go.
Yeah, and hey, I just want to jump in real quick. I think Arfat had their hand up earlier, but Film Freako, I want to show for you for a second. Guys, if you don't know him, follow him. He made an incredible, beautiful short film called Elena. I think it's screening here again this week. I saw it on Beam. It stars one of Colombia's most famous actors. She's the voice of the grandmother character in Encanto. It's a beautiful, evocative film. He's an amazing storyteller, and like I'm glad he's able to be part of this group and others. And so, to Cameron's point, like all the filmmakers should be lifting each other up. And so, I just want to hype for him for a second, even though this is about Flinch. That's what I'm here to support. But guys, follow Film Freako and try and catch his next screening, because this is another artist that we'll want to lift up in the community.
Man, thank you so much, Julian. You're always doing the job here, and I mean, I know everyone here. I know Cameron. I know She Crypto. I know we all appreciate what you do. I mean, it's I mean, I'm beyond words with all the support you give us. And yeah, thank you for the shootout. Yeah, looking forward to see you all. It's gonna be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, it will be amazing to have you all watch a beautiful film.
Hey,
And
I
you know,
interject for a second? Could
yeah,
you
go
set a reminder, Film Freako? Like, you know how like people do like Twitter Space reminders? Because I think that's what I'll do is I'll set like a reminder because it's easy to forget. Because Beam doesn't really have like a reminder. You get where I'm coming from? Just so people on Twitter will be like, okay, yeah, his film's about to start. You get where I'm coming from?
Okay, I see. Yeah, I'll look into it. Maybe it's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you. I'll look into it because I do not
Starseed,
have it as of yet.
Starseed Film and Music will definitely be in the house tomorrow, my man.
Thank you, man. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Excited about that one. All right. Do we have any more questions in here? So almost 12 o'clock.
Yeah, hey, thank
Oh
you
yeah, I'm
for,
sorry, Elfat.
yeah, no, that's okay. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. And congratulations, Flinch and Film Freako, uh, and anybody who's just using NFT. And this is something I mean, you might probably have already covered in this space because I actually joined pretty late. But this is a conversation that I actually had like with somebody, and you can just tell me like if you have covered it. I would probably like listen to it, listen to the recording later on. So I had this conversation with one of the artists a few days ago, and he said like, "Why are you not on NFT?" And I said like, "Okay, how's NFT gonna help me as a filmmaker?" And he said like, "Okay, it can help you because you can just put your artwork out there, and then it's a new way of, trying to spread the word." Because I normally do actually do a lot of course-based documentary filmmaking, and I've always done it, but then it's sometimes harder to actually find your audience, and especially if that documentary deals with a cause which probably a lot of people here in America are not aware about. So he just helped me like set up an account on NFT. Then he opened then he helped me like how I can put things on OpenSea and stuff like and I was like really pretty glad, only until when I realized that you could. And then I asked him like, how do I actually put my film here? Because
Hello,
it
hello,
just says like,
hello.
I don't sorry, can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So when I was on OpenSea, I saw like your file size can only be like 50 MB to like 100 MB. And I was like, how would I actually put a film on there, like a 50 MB or 100 MB, and then how do I market it? Like, what's the deal? Then he said, like, probably, there's another platform, but not maybe OpenSea, but there are like so many, out there that you could probably find, and then you gotta just find your tribe. So although, like, I'm so glad and grateful that he actually did help me and tell me like how to kind of go about it, which was pretty basic, because I did understand that I probably need to do more research about it, uh, and about these films. But how do I find my tribe is like a very generic kind of a response, and that's one that I want to ask you. How do you do that? And two, um, is like you said that you have your films on NFT. I mean, you turned your films into NFTs. And when you're saying that you have you're previewing your film or like you're premiering it, is it also you're premiering it as an NFT? It may, I mean, I might sound very stupid and very novice when it comes to like NFTs and stuff, but this was something that I wanted to explore, and I'm so happy and glad that we have this space here. So Star Seed, thank you so much for doing this, and Tony, thanks a lot for doing this. And if you already have covered the answers, I'm more than happy to like go back to the recording once it's available and then check that out, so you don't have to repeat yourself. But then that's what my question was. And again, congratulations. And if it's something that gets me really excited, that okay, I mean, now you don't really have to go to film festivals, although my upcoming documentary is going to film festivals because of the awareness that I want to cause about a conflict. um but if NFT is the new way forward, it's the future. So I would like to know more about it. So thanks a lot.
I can take this one. So I asked the same questions you asked last year when I first learned about NFTs. And one of the first hurdles that I came up against was, how do you make the movie an NFT? And I struggled with that for a minute because it's like, well, the quality would be terrible, the gas fee would be huge, just doesn't work, especially not on Ethereum, right? But what I came to realize was that's not even the point. I mean, like, there are people working on this. There are people working on chains that you, I guess, will be able to upload large files, media files, in high resolution, that are on chain. That's cool. Like, I'm interested to see where that goes, and totally open to exploring that. But I think what you're really tokenizing here is the community, right? And that's our approach. Is the film can live anywhere. The film can play in a theater. The film could play off of a 35 millimeter film print in a movie theater off of a projector, right? What we're using the blockchain to do is to give a community ownership, access, governance around a franchise. That is, to me, the power of NFT. I mean, if you look at even like PFP projects, right? Say the Board Ape Yacht Club, they have that's a membership to a very specific type of club, a club that exists on the internet, right? There's value in having it. It says something about you when you own one. There supposedly are certain perks amongst each other who holds. They support each other in ways. They're building out IRL experiences. They do parties on yachts. They're building a club in Miami physically, right? That club is not on the blockchain specifically. It's the token represents the membership into that club, right? It's a representative item of your ownership or support or belonging to something. So we're using that same model with film, with a film franchise. The film does and can exist anywhere. The community's connection to it is via the NFTs. Like, that's the starting point. But there's lots of ways to go about it. There's lots of ways to use the technology. That's what we're doing.
Right. Thank you so much. But what did you say the community was called again? Because I think it's rugging a bit, unfortunately, and I could not hear when you. I mean, I don't know if you did actually tell. I mean, if you did say the name of the community, or if there is one, but unfortunately, it was rugging too bad for me, so I couldn't hear that bit. So I mean, if it continued to do so, I could probably DM you if that is okay.
Why don't you jump into our Discord? Jump into the Discord, and if you're a filmmaker, we have a filmmaker channel in there for filmmakers to talk with other filmmakers and grow together.
Yeah, that's cool. I've just gone on to Discord. So I'll just send you a DM if you could send me the like whatever you call it in Discord language link to the community, and then yeah, I would love to join and learn more.
If happy to DM you, but I'm just saying, if you click on our profile, there's a link tree on the profile, and if you click on that link tree, you will find links to our variety of social, whatever social media accounts and films. The Discord link will be there, and you'll get right in that way.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll do that right away. Thank you so much.
And Arfat, I just tweeted at you, so follow me, and I got you. I'll help you onboard into the community. I got lots of links and people to follow, so just check your tweets.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Julian. I appreciate it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Wow, what an amazing space we had today.
Yeah, that was incredible. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is continue. Let's do closing remarks because it's about 1:03, and we want to be mindful of 60 minutes because I have to do my next space.
I appreciate all of you guys for coming out. I wish all of you guys success in everything you do. You guys have a supporter with us. I mean, within us, and I do this at the end of every virtual film festival, I would like to present Flinch NFT with the Golden Movie ticket. You guys are now in the Starseed Film and Music Hall of Fame. We appreciate you guys for coming through. And yeah, see y'all in the next one.
Thank you for having us. Really good conversation. Thanks for everyone who came out.
No problem, brother. You guys are on to do huge things within film community and Web3. So I'm stoked to watch everything you guys do, man. You guys have a fan in me forever. Alrighty.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Peace out.